If he beats Bray Wyatt, who gives a who gives a crap? Because there's nothing there.
But what do you think about the matchup that really started all the Vince being involved in creative rumor of Brock Lesnar versus Omos? Because, for all intents and purposes, this came out of nowhere because it really felt like we were either
Who gives? Okay, I'll tell you exactly where it started. It started with Brock. Brock, when he heard he's going to get the heading against Bray Wyatt, Brock stopped that. He said, "They ain't no effing way that I'm going to go out there against Bray Wyatt." And think about it.
I was going to say it looked more like we were going to get Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley. We were going to finish that program because the program ended with Brock getting disqualified at Elimination Chamber. So it would be logical to follow that up with the final encounter at WrestleMania. And now they've kind of revert course. Now Bobby Lashley is versing Bray Wyatt, and now Brock Lesnar is versing Omos, who Omos is not even the same guy he was going into WrestleMania last year because he's lost to Bobby Lashley. He lost to Braun Strowman. Prior to this match being announced, he's only had one match in the past 2 months. So you would think that if this was a match that they were building towards, they would have done the work with Omos to make him a credible threat to Brock Lesnar before it.
I don't think they were building toward this match. I think I think that arc got all messed up, and they just threw Omos in there, which tells me Omos is, Brock's going to beat him right in the middle. And somebody said that, correct me if I'm wrong, but Brock refused to wrestle to work with Bray Wyatt, correct?
Yes, that is the report from Fightful Select that Brock was basically, they had a couple of different matches that they wanted for Brock. They offered Stone Cold Steve Austin a match with Brock Lesnar. He turned that down, as well as a match with Roman Reigns down. They had discussions about Brock Lesnar versus Gunther around November, but that wasn't really thought about for too long. It was only kind of brought up as an option. And then he got offered the Bray Wyatt match, and he turned it down because of, I don't know. Maybe it's because of the Bray Wyatt character. Why do you think that he nixed the Bray Wyatt?
Because why did Brock nix it? I'll tell you why. It's a lose-lose situation for him. If he beats Bray Wyatt, who gives a shit? Who gives a crap? Because, there's nothing there. There's nothing. Between Brock and Bray right now, there's nothing but air. And nothing has even happened in that air. Nothing has even stirred in that air between them that would make any match between them even thinkable. And if Bray beat Brock, which is not going to happen, I'll tell you that right now. That doesn't help either one of them. If he beats, let's say, Brock, if he beats Bray Wyatt, he gains nothing. Nothing. He is still in the same boat as where he was. He's in a pretty good boat, but he's in the same place and maybe might even drop down a little bit by osmosis, just being in the same match with Bray. And if Bray beats him, which I've just said that's not going to happen, that helps neither one of them. I think it wasn't a lose-lose for Bray, but I don't think, and we've talked about Bray right now to me, he's hitting on zero.
Yeah.
He started out with a lot of promise and a lot of thoughts about him and where he could go. But now watching him, you're looking like, what the hell are they doing? That Fun House?
Firefly Fun House.
It's almost embarrassing to watch it. I don't know how that has anything to do with wrestling. Kids might like it, and Bray may sell a lot of merchandise. But as far as selling tickets, if that was your main event, they'd have half a house. So I don't think anybody would be interested. I'm not. Are you? to see Bray and
was
Brock.
interested in it in 2019 when it was kind of to show that he had a duality of, he had the Firefly Fun House version of Bray, and then he would turn into the Fiend. But going back to it after we got an interesting character the first couple of weeks where it looked like they were going to go more of like a psychological battle within Bray, that Bray was really battling himself and feuding with himself, that was a lot more interesting than him reverting back to Firefly Fun House and Uncle Howdy being someone else, and now this feud with Bobby Lashley, this just feels so thrown together. It feels more thrown together than the Omos and Brock Lesnar feud.
Actually, Bray versus LA Knight would mean more on the card than Brock and Bray Wyatt, because at least they got some kind of history together. That actually was fairly interesting.
Yeah.
And I thought it was just a way to kill off LA Knight. Actually, LA Knight came out of that in stronger shape than Bray Wyatt did. So tell me how does that work? And I'll say one thing for LA Knight. He can talk a house. Let me talk at you. And people enjoy that. And he is probably the closest thing. He's not stone cold, but he has that same effect on people when he starts talking. Because you want to kill him, but then you kind of like him. So, and he's a perfect heel. But him and Bray Wyatt, they had a little bit of steam on it, then just went to nothing. And that can happen, as we just seen. It can happen. I don't know how it happens. It just happens. How can that happen when Triple H is sitting there talking to them every day, and he has to see this? Now, who do you think is booking Bray Wyatt right now? Who do you think is coming up with those ideas?
Well, I know that they got a guy that came in, Rob Fee, who does long-term creative and development, and he was the guy that they originally said was working with Bray as far as his story. But they said when Bray came back, they had plans for Bray up until WrestleMania.
Well, who I think is booking Bray is Bray himself. If he's working with that other guy, the other guy's listening to him, because I guarantee you the other guy is lost as hell. He don't even know where he is. So Bray is saying, yeah, well, I'll do this and I'll do that. And he talks a good game. And we'll do this and we'll do that. But see, it's not up to the writer so much, or it's not up to Bray so much. It's up to the fans. If they enjoy it, they'll tell you. And if they don't, they'll tell you in the opposite direction. So I'm going to give them a little hint now. The Bray Wyatt thing is hitting on zero. They're out of gas, and their fuel pump's out too. So even if they put gas in it, now they have no way to get it to the engine.